Hello, mates and lasses. This is 155mm bringing you another video. What's going on, guys? I want to put out a kind of a different video tonight. This video is going to be talking on a subject that needs to be addressed here in America and has needed to be addressed for some time. I've seen it for many years going on, and it's just been enabled. It's just the American tradition, the American way, and the change needs to be put to this. Okay, it's Americans have been enabled to do this. Okay, they think because they're Americans, well, they're free and they're entitled. See, Americans are an entitled mindset. A lot of Americans have an entitled sort of mindset. You know, America the free, America the land of opportunity, etc. See, unlike Israel, okay, our only ally, the rest of this world, Israel is our only ally who actually knows. The people of Israel, they actually know what actual life is about. They know how to survive. They learn how to survive. They learn how to survive war. They look over their shoulders since they were little babies in the streets. They have to watch over there because they'll get shot. Their whole country is nothing but war. They don't have a sense of entitlement. They learn how to survive. Unlike Americans in this country, we got a lot of tough Americans. Oh yeah, I've heard it all here since I've been on YouTube. So many tough Americans. I'm not gonna even go into all the stories that I've heard, etc. But it's this sense of entitlement and freedom of speech, which is a great thing. But the sense of entitlement and freedom of speech, they tend to stretch this to the extent as far as they can stretch it to get the most out of it. Even to the point of some of the individuals being able-bodied people to work or gain employment. Able-bodied, okay, but not willing. That's part of the American heritage and tradition that we keep handing down to the generation after generation after generation. And sooner or later, these generations of individuals who are able-bodied, now I'm talking about the able-bodied individuals now, okay? I'm not saying able and willing. These people ain't willing. I'm talking about the able-bodied ones who are capable of working, capable of going out to get a job at McDonald's. This continues and continues on down through generation after generation after generation. If you watch some of these individuals and you watch their bloodline, they will continue to go generation of generation of generation, teaching their children, spitting out kids with for no other reason but the American freedom. The American freedom allowing them to spit out kids on my tax dollar, your tax dollar. It's going to continue. When they spit those kids out unwantingly, don't even want those kids. They teach them what they know about getting over on the system. So they prepare them to go through life. And then later on down life, they say, well, this is how you can get over on the U.S. government. And see, you don't have to go get even though you're able-bodied, this is what they tell their children. You don't have to go get a job at McDonald's because that's hard work. You can just sit at home and, not work. That's the way these scabs are. And I'm not talking about the vets. Okay, Because, and see, that's another thing. It doesn't matter any vet. Any vet who signed on the dotted line, whether they deployed or not. Don't even worry. I'm not even talking about you. Everybody here can call me. How do you say it? Preferential towards veterans. Well, I am. I consider anybody who signed on the dotted line to be a veteran, no matter what. Whether they support it, whether they deployed to a foreign country and were awarded a war campaign medal or not. I still consider anybody who signed on a dotted line a veteran. Now, there's some veterans on here. I'll get into this a little more in a different video. There's some veterans on here who think they're a little better than other people who deployed and got war campaign medals or whatever. Well, don't pay those guys no mind. Trust me. Those guys don't even, they don't, you know, I get into their skin here constantly, messing with those guys. You know, don't pay them no mind. They're not better. They're not any better than anyone here. They're not any better than me. They're not any better than you. They're not any better than any non-deployed vet, etc. Don't worry about that. I'm getting off the topic right now, but what I'm trying to talk about, back on the topic of these Americans, excuse me, of these Americans who generation after generation after generation, they just, and if you look around the bloodline, keep watching, same thing after the same thing after the same thing, same old story, man. Teaching their kids, even though their kids are able-bodied, they teach them not to be willing to go and get a job at some place like McDonald's, some place like Walmart, any little job, man, where a lot of these Americans will make fun of people who work there. That's why I don't make fun of the individuals who work there, because those individuals are able and willing to work those jobs. I respect that. And that's why other people here in America, well, you know, you may be a doctor and a lawyer or whatever and laugh and snicker at those individuals. But guess what? If those individuals that worked at McDonald's or, you know, Burger King, Walmart, if they weren't able and willing to work there, guess what? Or if they just one day decided, you know what, I'm not going to work there because that job's too hard. I'm just going to go ahead and sit at home like the rest of these individuals. Guess what? All you people that are laughing at those individuals, they're going to be raking in your tax dollars. So I wouldn't be laughing at them. Because if you do, you might find yourself over there making your own Big Mac. You know, putting your lettuce on there, or going over to Walmart and stocking your own shelves. That's why I don't make fun of dudes for their jobs or any individual employed, whether they mow grass, whatever, man. You know, just don't make fun of them. The people that get me are the ones who are able-bodied but not willing. And again, it doesn't pertain to you individuals out there who aren't able-bodied. But I will tell you this much. I would like to propose some kind of plan. And this is the way it goes. I think there needs to be some kind of plan or some kind of freaking law put into effect here in America where the individuals who decide that, you know what, they're not going to work at McDonald's, they're not going to work at Walmart, they're just going to sit out, okay? And they're not going to try. They're not going to try to work. They're going to milk the system. There needs to be some kind of plan put in effect where the U.S. government puts something into effect where they issue a card to all the employers all through this country, right? And have certain ways to identify that card, etc. for these individuals. Because what I want to propose here is to take away to the individuals that who are able-bodied, yet they're unwilling to work. I want to propose that the United States of America remove their right to have drugs, okay? First of all, they're going to buy those on the street anyway. So, you know, they're going to get those illegally. But cigarettes, is one of the biggest things. Cigarettes and alcohol. Remove their pleasures unless they have one of these cards or some kind of license that can be updated every so often that, you know, can be scanned, made sure that it's legit at a grocery store. Okay, something they have to show that they're employed in order to buy cigarettes and alcohol. And, you know, of course, drugs, they're going to get those off the streets anyway. But individuals, you guys in this country don't understand how many of these individuals who sit there on purpose, able-bodied to work but unwilling, and they're past time. Okay, what they're doing to keep themselves busy is smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol or taking drugs off your tax dollar. I'm not kidding. And I know I'm going to get a lot of enemies from this video, and I'm going to get a lot of rage, and I'm going to get a lot of anger. Oh, 155, you bad guy, you're just an evil. Oh yeah, you know what? The world's smallest 155 millimeter Hauser is right now, right here, right up next to my ear. I got my ear right up next to the breech right here, and it's shooting for you right now. And I ain't got no ear protection in, and I can't hear a damn thing. So that's about how much I care about what anyone thinks about this video. You know, if you're able-bodied to work, but you're not, but you don't want to work, and you're able-bodied to smoke a cigarette, chug up a beer, chug up some wine, or smoke yourself some left-handed cigarettes or do some drugs off of the American tax dollars. And most likely, if you're doing drugs, the cigarettes and the alcohol are coming with it. You shouldn't be doing that, okay? Something needs to be put a stop to that. And most likely, if you're doing drugs, you're doing alcohol and cigarettes as well. So if alcohol and cigarettes gets taken away, you watch Monday morning, the unemployment line, okay, of these individuals who were able-bodied but weren't so willing to work. You watch how willing to work they become, standing in that unemployment line, shaking like this, okay, looking for their next tobacco fix. I'm serious, guys. A lot of people think that this may not, you know, it may not pan out or may not work, but I'll tell you something. When it comes to this kind of thing, every little bit helps, dudes. Because I'm going to tell you a lot of things what these people do too. From generation, like I said, from generation to generation to generation, they continue to do it, and they continue to teach their kids to be unwilling to work while they're able-bodied. And they sit at home and they'll smoke these tobacco pipes, cigarettes, and their children, spitting out children. Okay, spitting out children. I don't have any kids. I don't have any children. I'm a responsible individual. I take responsibility for what I'm 100% sure that Saddam Hussein put down over there on top of us. Gulf War veterans from 90 all the way to 2003. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that he was using biological and chemical warfare agents on us. That destroys your genes. It destroys your DNA. If I go and have children, which I've known this for years, and I don't have any children, okay, and nor will I ever have children, because I'm taking responsibility of not pushing this disease, sickness, destruction of my DNA, okay, caused by this war criminal. If I go to have a child, my child possibly will come out with 3 legs. That's why I take the responsibility to make sure that that child will never have to live like that. And that's what the rest of these Americans need to do as well. Instead of popping out kids and smoking these cigarettes and pipes in front of them, and then they're destroying their children as well. And they're destroying their minds. And they're teaching their children to go and start doing the same thing that they see mommy and daddy doing. And it's a never-ending cycle, and it's going to keep on cycling. Just sit at home and spend the whole day away smoking, drinking, doing drugs off the tax dollars of the American people, who most likely, the American people are paying those tax dollars to support these individuals, to put food on the table for their children, to keep their children housed. But most likely, the majority of that money is going to support these scumbags' habits. They're taking away the food to put in their children's mouths and most likely starving them in order to buy another pack of cigarettes, another 6-pack of alcohol, etc. No matter how harsh it seems, dudes, and I'm talking about again, listen to who I'm talking about here, the able-bodied Americans, able-minded Americans, yet they're unwilling to go down and get a job at McDonald's, Walmart, Burger King, etc. They would rather just sit at home and smoke cigarettes, drink beer off the American tax dollar, and do drugs off the American tax dollars. That's who I'm talking about. I'm not putting down everybody in this country. I know there's people here that are unable to work, and my heart goes out to them. I once had a friend, okay, and I used to visit this guy, and sometimes we talk about things and talk about guns and things like that. And I remember this guy had a scumbag. He had some scumbags, right? That were neighbors. And dudes, I don't call people scumbags, or I don't label regular people scumbags. I mean, you got to be pretty rock bottom, okay? Rock bottom pieces of garbage before I label anybody here in America a scumbag. I mean, that's just, even my worst enemies on YouTube. I joke around with these guys. I don't consider them. These people were total, complete scum. Okay? I'm talking scum. I used to hear the stories, and I used to see them with my own eyes. Able-bodied people that were not, by no means, willing to work, period, in this country. Only thing they wanted to do, dudes, was mooch off the system. They wanted to mooch off the tax dollar of the American people. These individuals that I'm talking about, back when I used to have a friend who was also a field artilleryman, and we used to go, I'm not going to mention the guy's name here. He's a cool guy, still friends with him. And I used to go visit him at his house, and he had a little house out in like a little subdivision out in the country. And he had some scumbags who moved in next door to him. And that's when I really realized just what kind of pieces of garbage. It's here in Texas. It's here, and these people are here in Texas. I'm pretty sure they're still mooching off the system. Still the pieces of garbage that they were, and they're never going to get any better. They're teaching their children now to become the garbage that they are, is what they're doing. And these individuals, the only way to stop them is to cut off their supply line of their habits. Okay, that's one way. It's not gonna be the end-all answer to these scumbags cleaning up their act, but it can help. Okay, it can help. And I used to watch these scumbags, man, able-bodied scumbags who were able perfectly physically and mentally. Well, I don't know, man. I stretch it pretty far, considering these people did have some serious mental problems, though. So, but still, I don't have any pity on. I don't have any pity on an individual with this level of mental problems. I still believe they could function and make it in the workplace. But I used to see them, and they made no attempt whatsoever to get a job or to try to prosper in this country. Their only goal was to milk the government dollar, the government system for welfare. Their goal was to milk and just to keep taking. And it's things like that that really make me angry, dudes. Trust me, you guys don't really know. I get on here and I rant and rave. I'm actually a compassionate guy, guys. I got a good heart. I'm the type of guy who I open doors for old ladies, and if someone's getting raped in the street, I ain't gonna let that happen, man. I'm gonna run out there and do my best to put the beat down on somebody. If they're beating up an old lady or raping her in the street or whatever. But so I have pretty good compassion, but I had no compassion for the pieces of garbage. And I'm using these people for an example, but there's a lot of them out there. I had no compassion for these pieces of garbage. Her and her live-in, right? Who they used to run around and tell everyone they were married when they weren't. They weren't even married. Okay, first of all, I mean, it's just let me stop. I really need to get off the topic, dudes, because I feel like I want to go take a shower. But these individuals, they were perfectly able, but they were totally opposed, unwilling to work whatsoever. They felt that why should they get a job working at McDonald's and strain and stress themselves out to do a hard-earned day's work and earn their dollars, okay, off their own blood, sweat, and tear, when they can use the system to milk it and keep pumping out kids. Okay, and that's what these scumbags did, man. They kept having kids to get more money, free, and to delay the time, more and more the work. So that way they didn't have to work. That's what I'm talking about. Scumbags like these. And these scumbags, they would smoke cigarettes constantly. That was their entertainment, or how they got by through the day, man. That was their activity. Instead of watching TV or whatever, they're gonna sit there and smoke, and that keeps them busy, keeps them high with this nicotine or cigarettes. And plus, the dude used to constantly drink. And most of the time, I'm not going to go into all the details, but it just makes me sick. I'm not even going to mention it. It'll make you all sick. It'll make you all want to just go ahead and take a shower. With these individuals are scum. Okay, I mean, it's just disgusting. And I don't consider everybody like that, because I know there are people out there who are unable to work, and even those people, they're willing, but they can't, So I have compassion for them. But the idiots that sit around puffing on cigarettes, drinking booze, doing drugs on the American tax dollar, something needs to be done about it. And again, there should be some kind of way. There should be some kind of law or something instituted to where these people, if they're unemployed for a good amount of time, they need to make it to where you have to show some kind of card that you're employed in order to buy cigarettes, alcohol, and like I said, drugs. They're going to get them on the street anyway. But most time with these people, drugs, if they're doing drugs, alcohol, cigarette come as a second little high for them anyway. But I guarantee you, this now, don't get me wrong, this wouldn't fix all the problems, but I guarantee it would fix a lot. Okay, it would fix a lot of problems with these individuals who are able-bodied to work, but they're unwilling to work. Because most of these individuals, they gotta get high. What the little goofy song? That's the way these individuals. That's how they live their lives. And remember, not just when they're doing this, they have total and blatant disregard for their children as well. Okay? It just makes me sick, dudes. Because I took the responsibility to know that I'm not going to have kids, and never will I have kids. Because I would not put my kid through. All of America these, you know, these scabs that think that Saddam never used these weapons, they can say whatever they want. I know for a fact that he did. And those weapons, they screw up your DNA. They mess up, they break your DNA apart. So your offspring will have to fight their way through life without a chance, you know, without a chance of being, you know, if I was to have children, my children wouldn't have a fighting chance in this world against other people's children. They wouldn't have the same opportunities. So that's why I took, you know, upon myself the initiative never to have children. Respectable citizens carry firearms, criminals carry weapons, and that's the way responsible people should do. Don't have kids by accident popping them out and saying, well, I wanted to have this kid, and, you know, after the fact. Make sure you wait, okay, and you're ready, and have children on purpose. Don't make up excuses and say, well, I wanted a kid, when you really didn't. After the fact, everybody says that. But anyway, off the rant, guys. Peace out.